What's up, gamers? My name's Waluko, and today I want to tell you about two places called Mercy's Reach and Forbidden City. These two dungeons are located next to each other just north of Kyovashad, so they're very easy to reach, even at level 1, and together they form a farming spot that can easily make you over 6.5 million XP per hour, even while playing solo. So these two dungeons are located directly north of Kyovashad, but the actual closest waypoint is called Menestad. Mercy's Reach is the northernmost dungeon in this region, and Forbidden City is the dungeon just southeast of that. So next up I'm going to show you what a run through each of these dungeons looks like, how much XP we gain, how long it takes, so you can have a good idea of what to expect when you do this yourself. So first things first, we're starting off this run at 8,713,622 experience, and with that we're off. The first objective of Mercy's Reach is to kill a group of Night Hunters, which is a pack of 3 elite goatmen that spawn in the same room together. In addition to the goatmen, you'll find only beast type monsters in this place. Usually it's porcupines and hounds. So the enemy types are pretty convenient because all you have to worry about is the giant dudes with cleavers and the shamans. As far as crowd control is concerned, the rest are pretty easy to manage. But once you find the elite pack, which is what we just took out, you'll want to find a big red room that has a couple of goatmen kneeling around this big shrine thing. It's not bad to take a little bit of time to clear out a couple extra packs on the way, especially if you see an elite. But this is what that room looks like. Once you find this room, you just keep running back through the door on the back wall of that room, and that'll take you to the second section of the dungeon, which is where the real density is. The next objective of this place is to return mechanical boxes to pedestals, but we don't really care too much about that objective. What we care about is the rooms that hold the mechanical boxes. So run until you find the door and then pick one of the branching paths. There are only 2 paths and both of them have mechanical boxes behind them. So just pick one and eventually you'll get back to the other one. Here we have a pretty good pack of like 3 or 4 elites. That's a room like this is really good experience in its own right. Grab a couple pieces of loot or whatever. And then we go to where the real fun begins, and that's the mechanical box room, because it is at least 2 or 3 times as many elites as that previous room. As you can see, it's a little chaotic, and it can be quite dangerous because in addition to all of the cleaver goats and shamans, there's also quite a few of them that have like cold affixes that can crowd control and poison, all sorts of stuff. So these rooms can be dangerous. It might be a little risky to try and run this on hardcore or something like that, but if you're feeling strong and your build can handle this kind of thing, it is an extremely large amount of XP, and it can result in a pretty big pile of loot as well. So once you clear that out, it helps to grab one of the mechanical boxes. Don't drop it off back at the door because we're keeping it for a movement speed buff. It'll let us backtrack a little bit faster, but we just want to get to this other room with the mechanical box to clear out all of the elites because it's just as big as the other one. So as you can see, it's really an unreasonable amount of elites. And the fact that we can run between those 2 rooms so quickly with the mechanical box on our back just makes it that much better of a place to farm, even though there is some backtracking where we have downtime on killing enemies. As you can see, we ended the run with 9,134,064 experience in just under 3 minutes. For those following along at home, we began with 8,713,622 experience, which means we gained a total of 420,442 experience in just under 3 minutes, which is an average of well over 100,000 XP per minute. Once you're done clearing the second mechanical box room, you'll want to teleport outside of the dungeon and find Forbidden City on the map and start making your way over. It's a little bit of a distance, and there are a couple of roadblocks here with the goatmen, but if you save your dashes on your horse to get through them, it doesn't really stop you at all. From there, you just kind of round the corner and follow the path. There can be a couple events that spawn right in front of it, which are a little annoying, but you know, it's not a big deal. They don't really stop you anyways. So it should take a little under 30 seconds to actually get to the door, and then you can run Forbidden City while you wait for Mercy's Reach to reset. This is what the inside of the dungeon looks like. It's kind of gross, kind of creepy, but we're starting out with 8,503,138 experience. If you're wondering why the XP counter is lower than it was after running Mercy's Reach, it's because I actually recorded this run first. It is what it is. But yeah, let's just get on with it. The first objective of this place is the only one we'll be doing, and that is to slay 3 enraged spirits. The layout of this place is pretty simple. It's just a straight path leading to this little square arena where you find the first enraged spirit, and then once you get through the locked door after killing this one, that leads you to kind of a big square that has an offshoot that holds an arena where you can fight the other 2 enraged spirits and move on to the rest of the dungeon. Like I said, we're only doing the first part because the density in here is decent, even though it's not quite as good as Mercy's Reach. There's a good amount of ghouls and bats and vampires and even some ghosts. But you just run through here, kill a bunch of enemies, and ultimately we just want to kill enough time for Mercy's Reach to reset, because that's where the really big experience is. It doesn't really matter what order you do things, or even if you kill all of the enraged spirits, or you go all the way around the loop or not, so long as you kill enough time for Mercy's Reach to reset, which should be about 60 seconds to 2 minutes, somewhere around there, and get some XP along the way, then that fulfills the objective of this run. Here we didn't go all the way around the loop, but we did find the second room full of enraged spirits. And I did run all the way down to the start of the second section. You'll be able to see that the objective is kill all enemies, which is not as exciting as it sounds. And there's just like a really long pathway between sections, so we don't really need to waste that time every run. Once you kill those enraged spirits, you should be good to go. As you can see, after that 2-minute run, we ended up with 8,713,622 experience. And since we started at 8,503,138, that means we gained a total of 210,484 experience off of that run. So now to crunch the numbers and show how we gained well over 6.5 million XP per hour while playing solo. We ran through the first 2 objectives of Mercy's Reach in just under 3 minutes, and that gave us 424,442 experience. It took us 25 seconds to run from Mercy's Reach to Forbidden City. Then the first objective of Forbidden City took us 1 minute and 55 seconds and gave us 210,484 experience. If we add on another 25 seconds of transit time to get back from Forbidden City to Mercy's Reach to run it again, then that makes a total run time of 5 minutes 42 seconds and a total XP gain of 630,926. So that ends up being a little under 11 runs per hour at 10.7. So if we multiply 630,926 by 10.7, we end up at a total of over 6.7 million experience per hour while running solo. It's important to note that these amounts of XP are measured at level 82, so if you're a little higher than that pushing through the endgame, then these numbers will probably be a little higher since the XP requirements are higher and the enemies are higher level. If you're running lower levels, like level 1 to 50, then you're certainly not going to get 6.7 million experience in an hour, because that would just be unreasonable. But the fact of the matter remains, it is a lot of experience stuffed in a very few rooms in each of these dungeons. So that's it for the video. I hope it helps. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you want to see another farm that's also very easily accessible in Fractured Peaks for early and solo leveling, then make sure you check out this video over here. And good luck leveling your characters.